Hi, in this video we're going to go over how to communicate with your October backend. So to do that we're going to create a very simple blog, and behind the scenes I've already installed the rainlab.blog plugin. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to install this plugin, oc-blog API, and what this is going to do is it's just going to expose a couple of endpoints that we can use to access our blog data. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll cd into our plugins directory. Now let's go ahead and clone the repo down. And we're going to put it in bedard/blog API. Alright, that's done. And that means we should be able to access some of these endpoints. Let's try and fetch our posts. Forbidden. Oh, okay. So what we need to do with this plugin is we need to enable the API. So in the settings, we'll go to Blog API, and we'll go ahead and enable the API endpoints. All right, come back here and give it a refresh. There we go. So now we've got our JSON data being returned to us. So let's go ahead and make a blog page. We'll come into Pages, and we'll make a new one. Blog posts.view. And let's go ahead and give it a header. All right, and then the next thing we need to do is register a route for this page. So we'll come into routes. Name can be blog posts. All right. So that's all taken care of. Let's go ahead and start up our development server again. All right, so we should now have a /posts page. And we don't. Oh, that's right, I called it /blog, I'm sorry. There we go. So what we need to do from our post page, we need to access that API endpoint. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is when this component is created, we're going to go ahead and call out to the server. We'll call our method fetch posts, and then let's go ahead and make that method. All right, let's go ahead and call out to our server. One pattern that I like to use is I like to extract that out into its own file, and what that'll let me do is when it comes time to write unit tests for this, I can very easily mock that dependency. So let's go ahead and make a file. We'll call it repository.js, and it'll just export a function. All right. And the tool we're using to make our request is called Axios, so we'll need to import that. And then here we can just return axios.get, and we will pull in the path. All right. So if we come back to posts, we can go ahead and import our repository. Actually, we'll just pull the method. All right, so now I can just call fetch posts then this.onFetch complete catch this.onFetch failed. And to make sure it's working, let's just go ahead and log out the response. Alright, so this should be working now, which means we can come back to the browser, and let's go ahead and check the results. And there we go. you can see we are logging out our blog posts. So the only thing we have to do now is we have to take the response and put it in our data. So let's go ahead and create a container for it. We'll initialize it to an empty array, that's fine. And then let's go ahead and say this.posts equal response.data.posts. So now, if we dump that out, whoops. When we hit this page, we should see our blog post logged out. And there you go. Let's just go ahead and touch this up real quick and put them in a list. And we'll go ahead and say h3 post.title. Oops. Post.excerpt. And there you go. Our page is now calling out to the rainlab.blog plugin and displaying a list of posts. So just to recap how we did that, we are using a separate plugin that exposes some API endpoints. And then when our component is created, we're going to go ahead and use Axios to call out to the server. And when that request is done, we're going to take the response and just put it in our data. That's all there is to it. Till next time.